Hello YouTubers. Well, I was going to make a video. It was going to be a comedic video, but I decided against it. I just couldn't keep my composure while I was making the video. Today's been a crazy day, but I'm not gonna talk about that. What I am going to talk about is something that's been on my mind, and it seems a lot of people don't comprehend that there is a distinct difference between jail and prison. Somebody's probably, I know a lot of people are probably like, oh, there's no difference, they're the exact same thing. No, they're not. Anybody who has done time in both can tell you, no, they're not the same. Basically, the biggest difference I would think is that jail is mainly meant for short-term incarceration. Now, I mean, there are people who have spent years in jail. I've seen guys who have spent 3 years in just jail, county jail, we're talking, but, I mean, that's not common. Most jails are generally meant to hold a person for a period of less than a year. Now, like I said, of course, it doesn't always happen. But, yeah, the biggest difference is that, a lot of times somebody isn't really serving a sentence there. Their sentence a lot of times hasn't, even started. But, and I mean, there are small differences and there are bigger ones, but I mean, the biggest difference is, like, for someone like myself who went to a prison camp, it's much more restrictive in jail. I mean, in jail, you are, I mean, like, the jails I was in 2 jails. I was in Western Tidewater Regional Jail in Suffolk at first, and they put you in an actual cell with bars for your first day. You're locked up in a cell, and then you get transferred to a block. I was in block Echo 6, I believe it was, and that was like an open bay 2-floor dormitory, and there were no cells, like I said, open bay dormitory, bunks on top, bottom floor, top floor, and there was a shower in there and a bathroom, and I mean, we would be in there all day, every day. We got wrecked like twice the whole month and a day that I was there. I mean, you're just inside, and I mean, you got TV, you got one TV, and there were fights over what to watch. This one old crackhead wanted to watch Sanford and Son. He ended up getting his hip busted. Then this one guy was stealing the deaf kids' hair products, and he ended up getting the shit kicked out of him by a white kid. So, I mean, but, being inside, I mean, it's not good for your head. Then when I was then I got transferred to Warsaw, to Northern Neck Regional Jail, and there again, open bay dormitory. This one had like 75 people in it, and, locked in that thing. I mean, they were good about giving you rec once a week, but, and I mean, outdoor rec, I mean, you're behind these walls. Oh, great, you can see the sky. Big whoop, but, it was really restrictive. And then, I went through USP Atlanta when the feds finally took me into custody, and I mean, that's medium security, and it's a lockdown facility, 23 and 1, 23 hours a day locked down, 1 hour a day rec. You gotta get your shower done, make your phone calls, whatever the heck you want to do, you do it, and you can go outside in a cage basically, but you know, you do what you do, and if you don't get it done, well, there's always tomorrow is pretty much how they view things. And then I got to the camp at Big Sandy, and I mean, you know, wide open spaces. I mean, there wasn't even a fence around this place. It's supposed to be prison. There wasn't even a fence, and you know, a lot more freedom. You can have a job. I mean, you have a job in jail, but in jail, the jobs were like all-day affairs. I mean, these guys would leave. You know, you would wake up for the first meal, which was like at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, breakfast. These guys wouldn't be there, and then we would have dinner around like 4 or 5 o'clock, and these guys wouldn't get back until like 8 o'clock. You know, these guys are working insane hours for like no pay, and I mean, in prison, you know, they at least, you know, I mean, you get a lunch break on your job in prison, you know, and it's an 8-hour work day, and that's it. You know, you just do it, and that's it. You know. So yeah, I mean, if I had a choice, if you know, I mean, I don't plan to ever do anything illegal again. But I mean, if a judge ever said, well, you know, I'll give you your choice of 2 weeks in jail or 2 months in prison, what would you take? I would take 2 months in prison, definitely. Yeah, it's just more freedom. It's just, you know, jail is horrible. You know, it's subhuman the way they treat the inmates. It's horrible. At least prison is, I mean, prison is not a picnic, but it's tolerable. I think that's the big thing, that the big difference, you know, is that, you know, I mean, but they know you're going to be there long term, so, you know. And also, I mean, there are small differences. Like, I mean, in jail you got deputies, you know. In prison you have COs, you know. You're in jail you have canteen. In prison you have commissary. You know, little things like that. But I mean, those are the big differences. You know, what I talked about, and the restriction, and you know. But I mean, even in a higher security prison like a USP, it's not that locked down 23-1. You know, I mean, you get freedom. You get to, you know, you get your moves. You get to go around the prison. You know, you might not be allowed to, you know. And I mean, I've seen the rec yard at the USP. It's, you know, there's a lot of fence, but I mean, you know, you're out. You know, it's outside. You know, you got, you know, so that you got a tower looking at you. You know, but yeah. But you know, I just wanted to clear that up because it seems so many people just use those terms interchangeably, and for some reason it bothers me. I don't know why it bothers me, but it just does. Because my wife, she's currently incarcerated at FCI Danbury. Well, the camp at FCI Danbury. And, you know, she's constantly referring to it as jail. And it's just like, it's not jail. You didn't, you know, she self-surrendered, you know, directly to the prison. You know, I'm in jail. No, you're not in jail. You're not in jail. You're not in jail. But, you know, I don't know why. That's just one of mine. But, you know, I'm a little, you know, so, yeah. But, yeah, I just felt like making a video about something. So I made a video about that. You know, figured it would be informative to some people, and if you don't like it, I seriously really don't give a rat's behind. Alright, yeah, like I said, I just felt like making something.